Hola chicos! Today you'll learn to talk about what you do in your free time, using verbs in the present tense and expressions of frequency. Please subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, share, or leave a comment. ¡Vamos! Muy bien! In order to achieve today's lesson objective, we're going to look at a pattern to conjugate verbs in the present tense. By conjugate, I mean change a verb infinitive, like the ones we saw in the previous lesson, to a different subject or person. For example, I, you, he, she, etc. The present tense is used to talk about habitual actions, routines, or things happening now. You may remember that in Spanish there are three groups of verbs. Verbs that end in AR, ER, or IR. Today, we're going to focus on AR verbs, using this table. However, the grammatical pattern also applies to ER or IR verbs. And once you know it, you'll be flying in your Spanish, because you'll be able to manipulate the language in many other topics. Let's have a look then. So, to conjugate most AR verbs in the present tense, you just need to follow a simple four-step process. This will work with any regular verb. A regular verb is one that follows a pattern. Let's look at an example with escuchar, to listen. Let's say I want to say, I listen. Just do the following. Step 1. Remove the AR. Step 2. Check the correct column. We're only looking at AR verbs, so that's the column I'm obviously going to look at. Step 3. Check the line in the table. In other words, the subject or the person of the verb. Because I want to say I listen, I'm going to check the first line. Step 4. Simply add the ending, in this case an O. You now have escucho, which means I listen. Remember, the personal pronouns I, you, we, etc. are often not used because the verb endings make it clear who is speaking. Now, can you conjugate the whole verb escuchar with me? Let's do it. I listen, escucho. You, singular, listen, escuchas. He or she listens, escucha. We listen, escuchamos. You, plural, listen, or you all listen, escucháis. They listen, escuchan. Muy bien! Now that we know our present tense conjugation pattern, let's look at other key verbs for today's lesson and conjugate them all in the first person singular. I. Try to say it with me or simply repeat. Bailar, to dance. Bailo. Tocar, to play an instrument. Toco. Montar, to ride. Monto. Sacar, to take photos. Saco. Cantar, to sing. Canto. Hablar, to speak. Hablo. Now feel free to pause the video and practice conjugating these verbs for different persons of the verb. For instance, bailamos, tocas, montan. Knowing your verb endings allows you to talk about different people, but also to recognize who someone else is talking about. Let's look at today's key question and possible answers. ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? What you do in your free time. Escucha y repite. ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? Bailo. Toco la guitarra. Monto en bici. Or, monto en bicicleta. Saco fotos. Canto karaoke. Hablo con mis amigos. So in today's lesson, we've looked at talking about what you do in your free time using the present tense. You can extend your sentences with expressions of frequency, also called frequency adverbs. They express how often you do something. Escucha y repite. Todos los días. A veces. De vez en cuando. Nunca. Let's look at these again and find out what they mean. Todos los días, every day. A veces, sometimes. De vez en cuando, from time to time. Nunca, never. You can place expressions of frequency at the beginning or the end of a sentence, except for nunca, which must be placed in front of the verb. Let's look at some examples. Todos los días navego por internet. Navego por internet todos los días. Nunca navego por internet. Excelente! Now complete the quiz for this lesson. If you're a YouTube student, simply click the link in the description. Otherwise, use the link from your teacher. Gracias, adios, see you next lesson.